Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is, what day is today? I don't even know anymore. It's the 6th.
Friday.
I know it's Friday. It's the 6th of July, 2018. We had the 4th of July 2 days ago, which makes today the 6th.
Yeah, so if you don't open the door today, Aaron.
I thought the door was open. The wind closed it.
You know, things we do around here, like this creates a lot of heat. If you're just now joining us, we're sisters, by the way.
No.
Only you can talk to your own sister that way.
Yes.
No one else.
No one.
Beat up anybody who talks badly to you.
You want to start with that, or do you want me to just get my? Can we do this? Can we do the baby Trump blimp and just? I have that all set up, and we can just do that. I have it.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Okay, so what you're gonna need here.
Just close that tab.
Where is the chat? Wow, the chat's way down here. That's really strange. It's not usually down that far. Here, you can have that.
Welcome, everyone. So,
not that you need.
Guess what? Guess who called into Nigel yesterday?
Guess who called into Nigel Farage? Dun dun dun.
Michelle.
Well,
See,
we.
Here's the thing. We're not like
We're
the
a
other
team.
political pundits who go on shows. I don't really want to go on shows.
Right.
It's kind of nice just to like randomly, call into Nigel. Other people like want to be famous. We just want to get information out there.
Right. And, well, but you know what, though? Out of anyone that we could call into, I think the only person I legitimately want to talk to is Nigel. So that's a thing. All right. So I am going to play you. I'm going to play them the clip of us on Nigel's show, right? So first, let me switch over here so that you guys can...
because you can watch our reaction in our video.
Right,
Michelle should
and you
put a
can
link
watch
in
that
it.
yourself. All right, so here is, I actually wrote, can I just read it to him? Because it's funny. So this will give you the whole, I don't even have to tell you anything. This is just going to give you the summary of it right now. I need to make sure, though, that we are, okay, unmuted. I don't know if mom's, like, babysitting. It's had 37 shares already. That's really exciting. You guys can keep sharing it. All right, so.
ResistanceChicks.com.
That's right. For those of you that are unaware, I want you to take a good, long, hard look at this blimp. I'm going to give you, the punchline is that somebody got a permit to fly this thing.
They got to GoFundMe.
They did. For Trump's visit to the UK on Friday the 13th.
Next Friday, 1 week from today.
Right, so I'm sure we will be covering that. We bring it straight to you, Trump's visit to the UK, the lifestyle of the Trump and famous. All right. I said, I'm always down for a call into the Nigel Farage show on LBC. So when one of YouTube's best Farage compilation video creators, worth a look, one of our moderators, sent me a link with Farage's topic for today, I couldn't pass up trying to get a Resistance Chick's voice in on the topic. I mean, let's face it, this blimp is hilarious. I don't care who you are. A giant, almost 20-foot tall, orange Trump baby in a diaper, flying through the air is downright funny. I laughed out loud when I heard about it and was chuckling for quite a bit when I actually saw it. I dare say Trump himself got a kick out of it. I mean, imagine being a man making such huge strides and major changes that affect the entire world that your enemies are angry enough to do something so wild. I'm laughing to myself at just the thought. I would tell my friends, I must be doing something right. What really has me in fits is the fact that this is what they have chosen to do to voice their ire. Come on. If you don't see the humor in this, you've had too many sour pickles. This is absolutely fantastic. For those unaware, Trump is set to finally visit the UK on a working visit Friday, July 13th. There are plans for him to meet with the Queen, who, as Nigel has said, is on the show today, is tickled pink about this since she is quite a fan. President Trump had originally planned a visit to our cousins across the pond last year, but his opponents made such a ruckus about it that it was put off. This visit itself is not an official state visit, but it said that will happen some time next year. The biggest outrage of UK Trump supporters seems to be the fact that London Mayor Sadiq Khan, I don't know what's going on, but you gotta fix it. Somebody's foot is caught, and I'm holding this like ain't nobody's business until it's fixed. All right. I was really giving that so it didn't go down. But you know why it didn't go down? For those of you that have been watching us for a while, and you remember when the thing used to go down? Because Kelly PB Fam gave us a new tripod that has a wider leg base there. All right, so London Mayor Sadiq Khan's Greater London Authority approved the request for the blimp to be allowed to fly. Thousands signed a petition, and a crowdfunding campaign raised more than $20,000 to fly this monstrosity in the sky and ground their balloon in Parliament Square Garden near Big Ben and Westminster Palace. Yeah, you heard that right. You can find them on Twitter under Trump Baby UK. The argument Leah and I posed, and it was actually Leah's argument that was really hilarious. I just voiced it on the phone with Nigel today, is this, and this was yesterday. If the head of, say, Saudi Arabia were to visit the UK and a giant blimp that said bacon is great were to be requested to fly near Big Ben and Westminster, would it be allowed? Not a cat's chance in hell, Nigel said when we spoke to him. That's literally what he said. In the name of freedom of speech, I'm actually okay with the blimp being approved to make its infantile appearance during the planned Stop Trump protest. There's a protest. It's called Stop Trump that is planned for the same day of his visit. I think it's from like 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. there. Rather, it's the hypocrisy in which the outrage can be found. Right now in the UK, we have reporters such as Tommy Robinson being thrown in jail for reporting facts on Muslim rape gangs. We have people being fired, fined, and jailed for hate speech on social media. And yet, this, a blimp, depicting the leader of the free world who represents the entire American people with small hands as an infant in a diaper and a malevolent face, that was according to their own crowdfunding page. It was malevolent. Is allowed to fly. Forget the fact that they're offending more than half of the American people or half of the UK that voted Brexit and also support Trump. Many of whom are embarrassed that this will be the face of the British people that the whole world will see when Trump makes his first presidential visit to the United Kingdom. I think it's fair to ask, what gives? Why is it okay to offend one set of people and not another? The last time I checked, not being offended was not among basic human rights. One thing is for sure, all eyes will be on Trump Friday the 13th. And you know what? Like I told Nigel today, the fact that they are stooping to such immaturity shows just how desperate they are. And I think that's a good thing. In the words of Trump, we're winning. The snowflakes are melting. So grab some popcorn and pull up a chair for a front row view. All right, so who wants to hear the actual exchange with Nigel? Raise your hand if you do.
Let's go to Michelle, and she lives in Cincinnati. Good afternoon, Michelle.
It is afternoon here, Nigel. It's so good to speak with you. I think that this topic is absolutely hilarious. When I heard about it, I laughed out loud. Not because what they're doing is funny, but because it is embarrassing. And I'm thinking that the rest of the free world is going to be able to see this for what it is. But my question to you is, don't you find this a little bit hypocritical? I mean, let's say the head of Saudi Arabia were to be coming. Would they give a permit to fly a blimp that says bacon is great? And I mean, everybody knows bacon is great, right?
No, Michelle, there wouldn't be a cat's chance in hell of it being allowed. There's no way it would happen. And there's no way the god like Obama would have faced something like this. This is just because of this personal antipathy that people like Sadiq Khan and others have towards Donald Trump. And I said to a caller earlier, he was from the Midlands of England, how does this look from the Midwest of America? And I don't think it makes our country look very good, Michelle.
No, it doesn't make your country look very good. But here's the good news, Nigel. Most of us, I would say at least 50% of us in the United States, are woke. That's how Donald Trump was elected. And so most of us are going to be able to see it, and we're going to be able to pinpoint that, you know what, this is Sadiq Khan's London, this isn't the UK's London. And we can see the difference. And we understand that you guys are our greatest ally, and we feel the love and the camaraderie and the connection with the UK people that George Soros and the globalists and the powers that be are trying to divide us. But it's not working. The fact that something this humiliating and embarrassing to the United Kingdom is allowed to happen shows their desperation. I think that's good news.
Michelle, if the American people see it as Sadiq Khan's blimp and not the British people or British government's blimp, then we may be okay. Michelle, great call. Thank you very much indeed.
All right, so you guys can go and watch the rest of Nigel's show and hear what the rest of the callers had to say.
And you can see our reactions.
And you can see our reaction on the video. We recorded the video so that you guys could see it. Now, I want to pull these up really so that you can see them nice and big. This is that is kind of a drawing of what it's supposed to look like near Big Ben over Westminster. Now, look at, I'm going to pull this next one up here. Yeah. This is the actual blimp itself. I'm going to, again, make that nice and big. Tell me that it's hilarious. You have to admit that it is definitely hilarious. Now, this is kind of a projected, let's see if I can, there we go. thing of what it's going to look like before they had actually done it. This was their crowdfunding pitch that they were throwing to people. So yeah, about that. But really, in all honesty, I'm just more excited about the fact that we got to call into Nigel, because that was just really fun, and he's awesome. You know what Horatio said to me today? He thinks that Nigel is going to be making a comeback, which I think is good news.
I wanted to share with you some responses here, because May's cabinet, from what I understand, has betrayed Brexit and has decided to go with the least powerful Brexit solution possible. I'm going to read you some of these tweets from Nigel on this. Brexit did not mean keeping the 90% of our economy that does not export to the EU trapped by their laws. He says, the Brexit strategy is a sellout to the global corporates, as it was during Maastricht. The Tory Eurosceptics are a waste of space. No resignations means that the so-called Brexiteers in cabinet don't have a principle between them. Career politicians all. Today's agreement is just the government position. Once they meet, Michael Barnier, even more concessions will be made. Delaying March 29th, 2019 will be the next target for the EU and the establishment. He's kind of a little bit upset. He says, that's it. Raheem says, the time for countrywide direct action is upon us. Will we accept this non-Brexit or not? The ballot box has failed. So the cabinet has backed the softest form of Brexit.
But okay, so for those of you that are not aware, there is this hard Brexit, soft Brexit thing, and it's a fallacy. There's Brexit and there's Brexit. There is or Brexit and not Brexit. There is no between. This is not like making candy, the hardball stage and the softball stage. If you've ever made candy before, that's not what this is. Okay, so you either leave the EU or you do not.
With the EU becoming a rule taker on goods and agri-foods and facing severe consequences if we ever attempt to diverge on anything. So meaning the buying. That's one of the reasons that y'all voted for Brexit, was because you wanted to be able to export your goods wherever you could.
Right.
So this puts Donald Trump in a position where he's dealing with Theresa May on like not even softball terms, like wiffle ball terms. Like, we're not even playing a game here, right? This is ridiculous. You guys could have had something so big, and the EU is so powerful, but it doesn't need to be powerful because you are the people, you're the government. And the EU are at George Soros, and nobody's supposed to tell you what to do. Paul Joseph Watson says, Brexit has officially been betrayed. This is not what we voted for. May has to go now. Time's up.
You know, Nigel said on Tucker last night that Theresa May is the worst prime minister in history. Mm-hmm. And it's true. She has proven to have betrayed the people. As the prime minister, you are supposed to represent the people to the best of your ability. She hasn't even tried.
He also, speaking of Donald Trump and Nigel Farage, it is said that the British government has literally told Trump
and Nigel,
he is not allowed to meet with Nigel Farage.
I thought it was the other way around, that they told Nigel he wasn't allowed to meet with Trump. But either way, again, Horatio said, I don't think that Trump or Nigel
Farage on reports the UK government told President Trump not to meet with him.
That's crazy.
July 12th, the president planning a 3-day visit to the UK, where he'll meet with Prime Minister Theresa May. He'll also meet with the Queen, but according to the UK's Daily Telegraph, the UK government has told President Trump he should not meet with the European Parliament member Nigel Farage during his visit. And when you know it, Nigel Farage joins us right now.
You didn't want to play him on Tucker?
What do you know about that?
Do you know, ever since I appeared on a campaign platform with Donald Trump in Mississippi back in August 16, the UK government has been paranoid about my relationship with the US president, my broader relationship with the administration. They're embarrassed, I think, that I've got good relations with Donald Trump and with many others, and they're trying to deny the fact that I even exist. It is frankly stupid. It is ludicrous. The truth is, that relations between the UK government under Mrs. May and the American administration under Trump are not as good as they should be.
Right.
And rather than banning me from meeting the president, and by the way, I'm not sure how well he'll take to being told who he should choose to meet or not, what they should be doing is using me as a bridge between the two. I'm just not sure at the moment the UK government is bright enough to understand.
What they don't want is Nigel to be telling Donald Trump, hey, this could be really great. We could have great trade. We could do this, we could do that as two countries. They don't want a good relationship between the United States. And it wasn't the UK government. This was the EU saying, listen, Trump is putting tariffs on us. He's threatening our very communist way of existence.
It doesn't. Okay.
So a couple of things. Have you been told, or have you been able to confirm the fact that this is true, that they have come out and banned you from, or tried to ban you from meeting with the president? And number two, have you spoken with the president or anybody at the White House about it?
Well, in the last 18 months, ever since the president tweeted, many people in Washington think Nigel Farage would make a good UK ambassador. The government in Downing Street have been climbing the walls. Look, they hate me. They hate me because I forced Brexit upon them.
So, you may not know it's true, but you think you have every reason to believe, based on history, that it is true.
It is a completely consistent pattern of behaviour. What I do know is the briefing that you've read, written up in a UK newspaper. What I know for fact is that came from the Prime Minister's office. So yes, it is true. I've not spoken to the president. I've spoken, should I say, to people close to him. Look, I don't want to embarrass him coming on this trip. If he wants to meet me, I'll meet him, but I won't force it.
So you don't know what...
So he said on Tucker that if you wanted to have a pint with him or something, he would do it. I am kind of hoping that even if they don't meet publicly, they will do so secretly.
Farage says, if Brexit is delayed, I will return to the front line of politics. Nigel Farage has once again fired a shot across the bows of government, reiterating that though he hopes he doesn't have to, he could return to the front lines of politics if Brexit is delayed. Responding to a query on LBC as to whether he would return to campaigning, Farage says, if they were to delay the implementation of Article 50.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't even leave the treaties on the 29th of March 2019. If they did that, Craig, in that situation, that would be outright, full and clear for the public to understand betrayal, and in those circumstances, I would have no choice. He also said, I hope it doesn't happen. This is my 20th July in Strasbourg. I've done my bit in elected politics. I never want to do it again, ever, ever, ever. But if they drop the ball, I'll have no choice. With rumors of a huge sellout on the way, could Nigel be back soon into action? Will the government dare delay independence any further?
Okay, so hang on, pause, because Gary says the flowers are covering the screen. I told Patriot Gallery that they were going to cover the screen. They're going to cover the screen, and you're just going to have to deal with it today. We grew these flowers. Okay, if they cover the screen, just fill in with your imagination what is behind there.
May's Brexit proposal would effectively make U.S. trade deal impossible. The first few reactions to Theresa May's Brexit paper are already trickling out, and it looks like the plan would kill off any prospect of a big bumper trade deal with America. It is already being reported that the proposal would mean that the UK should maintain a common rule book for all goods, including agri-food and regulatory alignment on goods as well, as some are already reporting that is likely to kill stone dead any prospect of a bumper US trade deal being offered by President Trump. Breaking, number 10 has conceded to cabinet ministers that their plan on regulatory alignment would make a trade deal with the US all but impossible. How are Brexiteers going to react to being told that a US-UK free trade deal is effectively off the table because of our ongoing relationship with the EU?
Not only that, though, I want you guys to note how Nigel said if they were smart, they would be utilizing me as a go-between between the president and the United Kingdom. They are smart. Mm-hmm. They're smart enough to know that if they were to do that, it would spell freedom for the United Kingdom. It would spell good relations. It would make people happy, and they cannot have that. They absolutely cannot have that. So when we see Nigel sitting there just kind of like, you know what? It's like this. We all know that if you're going to meet with somebody that maybe you don't have like the best relations with, but you know that some member of your family gets along better with that person than somebody else, be like, send so-and-so to break the ice and it'll be okay. You send Nigel to break the ice and it'll be okay. But they're not going to, because they don't want it to be okay. They want disaster. They want the UK to feel isolated and alone. Because if Donald Trump makes the people of the United Kingdom feel like, you know what? If we leave the EU, we're going to be okay. We have the United States. We have these other countries that can trade with us. We're going to be fine. No, they are cutting it. This is what abusers do. They isolate you. They cut you off from any other possibility so that you have to come back to them.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of tidbit of history on this. The UK is well known for messing people over on trade. After our war for independence from the UK, now also remember this. We're dealing with the King of England. We're also, on some respects, dealing with the Parliament, but we were dealing in our independence with the tyrant king. Okay, what you have in the EU is a tyrant. You're not actually working with the will of the people, because I guarantee you, besides some of the crazy people who don't want to have anything to do with Trump,
right?
Most everyday Britons who get up every day, if you're going to have a Brexit, want a great trade deal with the United States.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's only common sense. After our war with independence,
our war for independence,
the New England Federalists, mostly of them were Federalists, the New Englanders, their main job was ship trade, was bringing in goods. They didn't manufacture goods like they did in the South. They sent goods and they received goods, and that's how they made their living. They had to sell out, or they were selling out, to the British at the time in around 1805, 1806. John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and a handful of others were set to sit down with the British right after we fought this war to continue this trade.
Right.
Well, one of the outcomes of this was we had a really good outcome, but then eventually we really had to stop trade for a little bit there, because what the British were doing, they were conscripting. Okay, we would send ships out. They would board the ships,
like
take the goods,
they were like
and
pirates.
they would conscript the sailors, and they would kill them too. And so John Quincy Adams is like, to the Federalists, it looked like he was betraying the Federalist Party, but he's like, why are you selling out your country? It's better for you to lose your goods and your ship goods and to lose your freedom and other Americans. And so they were constantly, taking over these ships, taking over these goods. They never stopped really having a war with France for like a long time. So they're having a war with France, and they wanted Americans to side with them, and the France wanted them to side with them, and Americans like, no, we're done, we're backing out.
But Which is unfortunate, because, like, Lafayette was trying to help us, so we can't help them.
We shouldn't have. John Quincy's like, no.
I know. No, but what I'm saying is, Lafayette probably would have had a way better French Revolution than what ended up happening. Because he learned a lot, and when he was over here, he was fighting with our guys. He was with us.
Well, that's a whole other story. Okay. He had Rousseau and a bunch of crazy, it just turned crazy. So, this is, and I'm going to have to, just read this to you, because I don't have Michelle to bring it up, and we have the flowers in the background. So, we're talking about the EU. We're talking about betrayals. So, this kind of goes into my next story here. We're talking about Germany. Well, Seehofer was a holdout on immigration, and he sold out on immigration to Merkel. So says the AfD, and Orban is not having anything of this whole supposed compromise either. And so I want to just kind of have you listen to
the AfD Bundestagsfraktion.
Not actually listen to, because it's in German, but for the AfD faction in Parliament. Mr. Seehofer, what a pity. You could have really saved your honor as the man who gave Germany a chance to make a new beginning. And now you will be remembered as an agony prolonger. And you know what? I don't really feel, I kind of feel bad for him, because he really tried to stand up to Angela Merkel, but it was like standing up to the devil, like looking straight in your eye. of the miracle era. How much longer, Mrs. Miracle, will you try our patience and prolong this undignified spectacle? What else needs to happen before you understand? How much longer are you going to hold us off with bluffs, pseudo deals, announcements of plans full of back doors and side exits that never come to anything? You have failed on all fronts. You have achieved nothing except... Wait. You haven't achieved anything but... Except with all your tricks and lists to sit a little longer in the chair of a chancellor who presides over a coalition that has long since been internally shattered. And for you, this you divide Germany. For this, you divide Europe. For this, you break up your shaky coalition in the end of your own party. I'm trying to get the... So, will you please end this tragedy and step down?
Please.
Bitter. Isn't that how you say please?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Is that you're welcome?
Mom.
Danke,
bitte.
and bitte is please and thank you. No, that's thank you and you're welcome. Yeah.
Arrivederci.
No, that's Italian.
I know.
So Chris Holman's like, wait a minute, isn't Friday supposed to be American news? No, Friday is the weekly roundup of just everything. And then Sunday is specifically devoted to...
We're going to get to a lot of American news, but we wanted to start with Trump baby, because Michelle called it a Nigel. And then I wanted to kind of give an overview of just kind of like a baseline of what's going on, why is there a Brexit, why, and just kind of give a clash. We're obviously going to go Sunday to the EU, and I just want to bring you one more story from Europe here. In Germany, migrant decapitates baby, and the government tries to cover it up.
I just read that title. I didn't know this was coming.
And this is in Germany, again. Authorities in Germany tried to cover up the brutal murder of a German woman and her 1-year-old baby girl in Hamburg by an illegal immigrant from Niger by raiding the apartment of the man who posted a video of the incident online.
Okay, she said raiding there.
Yes.
They raided his apartment.
Yes. On April 12th, 33-year-old... this dude stabbed his German ex-girlfriend. See, don't date them dudes. Don't date them.
Do not.
Identified as Sandra P. and their 1-year-old baby daughter. The woman's 3-year-old son was also a witness to the carnage. A gospel singer named Daniel J., who arrived at the subway moments after the attack and filmed the bloody scene on his phone, witnessed that the baby had been almost and completely decapitated. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus. They cut off the head of the baby. Oh my God, oh Jesus. It subsequently emerged that this dude whose attack was motivated by losing a custody battle, had been making threats against the woman and her baby for months, but police didn't take them seriously. A judge also revoked a restraining order she had taken out against the guy, after which he directly threatened her, "I'm going to kill our daughter and then I will kill you." Way to go, judge. A blogger named Henrik Weiner, who found the video on Daniel J's Facebook page, uploaded the video to YouTube, which then made him a target for authorities. A few days later, a team of state prosecutors and officers of the cybercrime unit of Hamburg police arrived at this guy's apartment, who was just trying to get the word out, with a search warrant and confiscated his computer, mobile phone, and other electronics, alleged to find evidence of the crime. He was, and still is, accused of uploading the video. Cord Weiner and his flatmate told Gatstone about the raid, which took place at 6:45 a.m. They recounted that when they first refused to open the door, police forced it open and even searched the flatmate's room, although it was apparently not covered by the search warrant. The police officer said that he could also search secure digital cards, the flatmate told Gatestone. While he fumbled through the books on my shelf, he suggested that he could turn my whole apartment upside down. He told me to relax. Cordwainer was accused of having invaded the private sphere of the murder victim, an obscure and barely used law that has been criticized for jeopardizing freedom of the press. Daniel J's home was also raided by authorities. Ulf Bornman, head of the Hate and Incitement Department of Hamburg's Police Prosecution Office, and also part of the team that raided the guy's apartment, defended the law for having helped tackle hate crime in social networks. The implication here is that this guy was committing some kind of hate crime by posting the video of the murder scene because it shows migrants in a bad light. The state reason for the raid, a breach of privacy rights, is flimsy. Only the victim's feet can be seen in the video, and even those for a brief moment. As the daily newspaper Hamburger pointed out, the footage is blurred, even taken from a distance, and doesn't allow the identification of any person. Meanwhile, the German publication Welt Online posted a video that shows close-up footage of the victim, something that did not spur state prosecutors into action. The main difference between the two videos seems to be the verbal comment on the beheading. In Daniel J's video, the alleged breach of privacy then would appear to be a pretext. In summary, authorities likely use a flimsy pretext to raid both the man who filmed the footage and the individual who posted it online to send a message to other German citizens and to oversee a cover-up of what happened, specifically in relation to the child being beheaded, which authorities still refuse to confirm. The video has now been deleted from all German websites and YouTube channels. If it was indeed the authorities' plan to censor the news and keep the information of the beheading under wraps, then it backfired. Due to the reports about the raid, thousands of people have seen the video and hundreds of thousands have heard about the botched censorship attempt. Even worse for the would-be censors, they unwittingly revealed the very detail that they wanted to keep from the public. Attempts by any anti-migration party, attempts by the AfD to confirm whether or not the child was beheaded were rebuffed when Hamburg's government, in breach of its constitutional duty, refused to answer, while also blacking out large sections of a report about the murders that related to the beheading. Hamburg's Ministry of Justice concluded its investigation by declaring the double murder is a crime of passion that must not be of any interest to the public. Nothing to see. Moving on. We killing the Jews. The migrants coming in. Nothing to see. Nothing to... You think all those people are gone. I hate to tell you, there are wicked people all over this whole planet that we be in. And there are people covering up crimes, and we here to uncover those crimes.
All right, so,
in the chat, what do they think about this
I don't know
beheading?
even how to say that. Tariq Covington says, at this point, I have become numb to these horror stories. And yes, it is upsetting that these have become common occurrences. There are two issues that I have with this story here. First is the actual crime itself, where the judge...
Crime of passion against the baby?
Thank you, Edward. Where the judge revoked the restraining order. Okay? In these cases, I feel like the judge should be held responsible in some way, because when it comes to a restraining order, it doesn't actually take the rights of that person away.
Right.
Okay? And it depends. The restraining orders can be tailor-made to specific situations. Mm-hmm. All right? So the fact that the judge rescinded revoked it, I think he should be held accountable. Secondly, anybody that has the capability of cutting their own daughter's head off
is demon possessed.
And a judge ought to be able to notice that right away. Then the second story in all of this is the censorship and the cover-up. And it's kind of, in my opinion, secondary, because we need to focus on the importance of, oh my gosh, this has happened, but it happened by a migrant. And why was the restraining order revoked? I am 100% convinced if this had been a German woman with a German man with the exact same scenario, the restraining order would have been upheld.
Absolutely.
But it was rescinded, it was revoked, whatever it was, because he was a migrant, and you can't do anything. They get special treatment. It's like what we were talking about with Nigel on the phone. If there were to be a blimp that said bacon is great when a predominantly Muslim country leader was coming to the UK, would they allow that to fly? No, they would not. It's a double standard, and the fact that it's allowed to carry on this double standard blows my mind.
I'm going to tell you what else blows my mind. That we're living in an era of all this crumbling down. And what?
Mom, I put it nicely. I asked nicely in the chat. We can hear ourselves on your speaker. You can just turn it down a little.
Mama got a new speaker.
Mama got a new speaker. Leah bought her a speaker. It's this nice little speaker, and she has had Alex. She's been cleaning out the shed. All of the neighbors are being red-pilled. Everybody can hear this little speaker,
baby. It's good. Yo, mama.
Mama got a speaker, so I'm hearing myself in an echo, which I'm loud already.
Echo.
I get that. All right, now finish your
Let me
thought.
tell you some good news. People are waking up, but I got to tell you something. People fled Europe because of this kind of craziness.
Yes, they did.
And they came to America. So I got to tell you, before I show you this story, a song just came to me.
You're going to sing a song?
I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm
free. I just messed you up there. Sorry, carry on. Do it yourself, girl. You got it.
Whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I'll proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And why? Because of this. All right, this next story goes perfectly into that story. If that woman was packing, you come at me, you come at my daughter, I am going to blow you from here to the Atlantic Ocean, baby. And that's what happened here, okay? I am sorry that some people use guns to do bad things.
Right.
But we in America, we are allowed to keep our guns because when somebody says they going to kill you, you can wear that thing all the time. You can put it on your body, right? Well, you can't in some places like New York City, which is really entirely stupid, which is why I'm not going to live there. All right. Mom shoots man here in the U.S. of A. You can't do it as a Germany, baby. Shoots man trying to steal SUV with her kids inside. Bam!
Boom.
Boom! This is just like, yes.
Is there a video? Did you watch the video?
Why are we muted? Did I mute something?
I think you did. Yep. No.
In a broken voice, Michelle, who asked not to be identified.
It happened so fast, not even 5 minutes. It wasn't like, not even 5 minutes. It happened so fast.
With shaking hands in a broken voice, Michelle, who asked not to be identified, says her motherly instincts simply kicked in.
I had to do what I had to do, to defend what was mine, which was my kids.
That's her car, crashed on the side of West Camp Wisdom Road near I-35 Wednesday night at around 10. Michelle had stopped at a convenience store nearby, went inside to pay for gas, leaving her keys and her 2- and 4-year-olds inside. Within a minute, she says she came out to see a stranger starting to drive off.
I jumped in the back seat. I seen my 2 babies still back there. I'm asking the man, like, hey, my kid's back here. Stop, pull over. He not even acknowledging anything about me saying anything about my kids.
She tried pushing the gear into park.
When I seen that he wasn't trying to stop it, he kept hitting the gas. I went towards my glove compartment and grabbed my gun, and I fired at him from the side.
Shooting the man once, leading to the car crash with everyone inside.
Just to see him slumped over, like, I was just like, Lord, my kids in the car, they didn't see me shoot somebody.
Even after escaping unharmed, this mother says she's grappling with mixed emotions.
I don't know what he was coming after. I don't know what was his intention. So, for it to happen to me, a woman, he probably thought he was going to get away with it. But luckily, I did have protection on me to defend mine.
Wow. No, and I'm going to tell you what. The Democratic Party wants to take your gun away, woman. Mm-hmm. They're telling you, you black. You can't. You're black, and you're not responsible enough to use a gun. Mm-hmm. Black people don't need guns. That's what they tell. Even though the NRA started training black people to defend themselves against the KKK, the Democratic Party.
That all rhymed.
That it did. I'm just good news story. The kids are okay, and I understand that she's having conflicted emotions. But 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, the emotions are going to leave her body. Okay? And the kids will be like, Mama saved my life. My mama is my hero.
She's my hero.
She saved my life. And you know what's amazing is that she tried, let's do this non-violently.
Right.
You know what? You're going to kill my kids. You could kill my kids. And thank goodness she was packing.
I can't believe she got into the glove compartment to get that gun out. I mean, can you imagine this whole scenario going down and you get the gun and then you shoot the dude? Wow.
Get the gun, shoot the dude, baby.
Oh my gosh. She definitely is a hero. She's definitely a hero. My mom commented on how pretty her dress was.
She's anti-American. Who are we talking to? Who are we talking about?
The lady. No, he's being facetious. By the fact that she wants to protect herself, the powers that be would say she's anti-American.
Oh, by the way, I'm not a soccer person. People.
You're not a soccer people?
There's a thing going on.
The World Cup.
In the world, yeah, it's called World Cup. Like all the countries in the world, they start kicking this ball around. Woo! And people go crazy for it. Like, it's insane.
It's called football to the UK people.
And I know, and
which makes sense because it's the foot.
I know, but Paul Joseph Watson informed me that people in the UK are worried that because the UK, I guess, beat Colombia, that white supremacy and English supremacy and St. George's flags will be flown. So many of these radical, I'm going to start calling these people radical left-wing extremists. Because they're like right-wing extremists, like, it's so weird. It's like this horrible put-down. Extremist. Right? These people are left-wing extremists.
You guys need to go, when it comes to the extremists, you know what? There isn't anything wrong with being an extremist. I have one of my earlier videos on YouTube. You can just watch. It's called Michelle the Extremist. There are times when being an extremist is actually a compliment. It's a good thing. I don't address in that video that there are times when it's a bad thing.
Right, and this is a bad thing. These are radical left-wing extremists who said, I hope that the UK loses, so that we don't have a bunch of people in the streets with St. George's flags. And this is like all over the woke-ish people. Wow. I am woke. All right, we're going to shoot through some top news. New York City's corrupt mayor de Blasio used a $3 million counter-terrorism plane to fly home from his Canadian vacation. I'm not going to go into this, but the EPA, head of the EPA, Scott Pruitt, I guess he was scandal-ridden. No, I don't think he really was. But he had death threats to him and his family, and so he resigned. But this guy here, he just keeps plugging on away. The NYPD used a $3 million counter-terrorism plane to shuttle Mayor Bill de Blasio back and forth from his Canadian vacation to the Big Apple for an event Thursday. The NYPD is transporting him in their plane. Their plane is a Cessna 208 Caravan that cost roughly $3 million and was picked up by the department in 2017. The high-tech aircraft is outfitted with special sensors that can detect at a distance radioactive material. It's very unusual to go on an international flight to go pick up the mayor. I think it's excessive. So that's not exactly what the plane was designed to do. Judicial Watch files ethics complaint against Mad Maxine Waters for inciting violence. Judicial Watch filed an ethics complaint against Representative Mad Maxine over her recent speech that encouraged the harassment of Trump officials. In a hand-delivered letter to the chairman and co-chairman of the House Office of Congressional Ethics, Judicial Watch asked for an investigation into whether the California Democrat violated House ethics rules by encouraging violence against Trump administration cabinet members. Remember when she told that crowd? You know what? Let's just play that video because everybody keeps playing it over and over again.
They do keep playing it over and over again. I'm sure you guys have already seen it several times, but it is kind of funny.
Let's see if we can find it here. Come on. Where is it? Everybody has a link to something, doesn't it? No. Come on, Maxine. Where are you? Let's see. Where? I don't have it.
So Mike Skidmore says the thing is, in Canada, you are not allowed to use a gun to defend yourself. Trump called you American voters a new name, the super elite. Like that. I like that. All right. So yes, Stuart the Brit. I wrote an article about that actually.
You know
on
what?
ResistanceChicks.com.
Why don't you bring up the Mad Maxine clip? I'm sure you can find it. It's pretty short. Mad Maxine incites violence video, and you can play it from your little page.
Top story tonight, chaos in...
One more time. Your little page. She just said my little page.
All right, so we do have chaos happening right now. We've told you about this. Obama's Organizing for Action has been training people, and they're pressing buttons and getting their little ants out there to do their little dirty work because good commies never do it themselves, by the way. They always get their little brainwashed people, which is why public school is so awful, because this is what the public school gets you to do, their dirty work. When they press the button, you're like, I will follow. You're a zombie, dude. You're not. You're red pill.
Isn't it that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have it up, go and play it. And then we'll get to this ICE craziness. The left has gone totally insane. I was talking to my neighbor today, and I was telling her how excited I am the left is. Makes life so much more fun for us because we're not even fighting in like an equal plane. Like, they're so insane.
All right, here we go.
Gonna insist on it. If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet. Already, you have members of your cabinet that have been booed out of restaurants, who have protesters taking up at their house, who's saying no peace, no sleep. No peace, no sleep. And guess what? We're going to win this battle because while you try and quote the Bible, Jeff Sessions and others, you really don't know the Bible. God is on our side. On the side of the children. On the side of what's right. On the side of what's honorable. On the side of understanding that if we can't protect the children, we can't protect anybody. And so, let's stay the course. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
So yeah, she says, you tell them that they are not welcome. But what she said there, she said, you push back on them. So we have Mad Maxine calling for violence. And yet, the left still doesn't see what trouble they are in. I think I shared on our Facebook page today an article. I wonder if I can pull it up here. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. But about how, you know what? It's really looking bad for the left come fall. Because they have Mad Maxine. They have Nancy Pelosi. They now have, what's the name of that guy from Roseanne?
Tom Arnold.
Tom Arnold. They have a whole bunch of crazies. And when the crazies come out on your side... But did you hear how she said... You were probably gone.
Oh, I know.
They don't have God. Like, God is on our side.
So I have this One Nation Under God book. I think somebody sent it to me. Speaking of that, she's like, they don't have God on their side. Liar, liar, your pants are on fire. One of the things that actually led up to getting people ready for the Revolutionary War, because you're not supposed to go to war lightheartedly without really seeking the Lord. And these people all across the nation, they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to fight. It's like Rocky, you know? You don't want to fight. You play back, you sit back, and if somebody keeps coming at you, then you're going to have to fight. But they, by inciting violence, are the ones who are twisting the scripture. And there was this great awakening that happened, the first Great Awakening, the second Great Awakening, where people were getting on their knees before God. They were repenting. They were turning to Jesus Christ. And I want to just read for you some clips from George Whitefield, very famous preacher. And this was in all the pulpits, where he says, never rest until you can say, the Lord our righteousness. Who knows, but the Lord may have mercy on, may abundantly pardon you. Beg of God to give you faith. And if the Lord gives you that, you will by it receive Christ with all his righteousness and his all. None can tell but those happy souls who have experienced it, with what demonstration of the Spirit this conviction comes. Does that sound like the demonstration of the Spirit of God? Oh, how amenable, as well as all sufficient does the blessed Jesus now appear. With what new eyes does the soul now see the Lord his righteousness? And he says, those who live godly in Christ may not so much be said to live as Christ to live in them. They are led by the Spirit as a child is led by the hand of its father. They hear, they know, they obey his voice. Being born again of God, they habitually live to and daily walk with God. Sarah Edwards, Jonathan Edwards' wife, said this about the impact of George Whitefield's messages. It is wonderful to see what a spell he casts over an audience by proclaiming the simple truths of the Bible. Our mechanics shut up their shops, and the day laborers throw down their tools to go and hear him preach, with few unaffected. The gospel, Maxine Waters, and these Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, she was invoking Jesus. For the migrants or whatever.
Yeah, you've got to be pretty confident if you're going to invoke Jesus, and you're kind of
they're
a Satanist.
doing it to try to get to the minority folks who do believe in Jesus, and they're twisted it just like the devil did in the garden. Like, didn't God say you could do this, you could do that? But this is what they get people to do. This is a hilarious video to me.
Ends with arrests on the streets of Center City after some immigration policy protesters clashed with police.
Eyewitness News reporter Alicia Nieves was right there as it all unfolded.
Protesters have been outside the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office in Center City. We are here to shut down non-stop since yesterday.
I think this is a really unique time in American politics right now, one in which the possibility of actual radical, necessary immigration reform that has been delayed for far too long is actually seemingly within the Overton window of public opinion.
The message from protesters that ICE as an agency needs to be abolished and that Philadelphia needs to do more to be a true sanctuary city was being made and received peacefully until hour 16. Philadelphia police and Department of Homeland Security officers began telling protesters they could no longer block ICE's garage door. Protesters wouldn't budge and began locking arms in front of the doors to continue the effort to stop any agency vehicles from transporting undocumented immigrants. After 3 warnings, police began making arrests, and as one arrest was being made, some protesters began to sing. We are fighting for children. We shall not be moved. And then this happened. It led to the...
So I need to just tell y'all that I have another video. I don't know where it went. ICE raided a house in a neighborhood, and a bunch of people got out to start to protest it. It was a sex trafficking bust, but they still kept protesting.
No way.
Yes.
My mama always said, you got to know what you be protesting.
I'm not sure she ever said that, but yeah.
I can put my mama always said in front of anything.
Yeah, I'm sure she would have said it.
But seriously, you do need to research and know what you are protesting. This is embarrassing. The left has sent out a bunch of drones. They don't know what to do. They don't know why they're doing it. They just kind of move forward and chant.
Yeah, they do. They do. Definitely. They do. I want to show you... This is Mad Maxine. She lives in District 43. It's the worst in Los Angeles. By the way, recently, San Francisco, this is Los Angeles, San Francisco has been cited for 16,000 poop drops. Human poop drops, because they banned bags, right? No plastic bags.
Well, it's not just, okay, it's all of California, but it's San Diego, San Francisco, all of these places where the left wants freedom, we will call it, and yet they want constraints. So you can't bag your poo, and yet you want freedom. So this is a lot of mixed messages that they are sending. But I have to tell you, when you allow godlessness in a society, you get poop all over the streets.
And you get this. This is Maxine Waters, District 43. She doesn't live here. She doesn't live in District 43. She represents it, but she doesn't live here. She lives in a $1 million mansion.
Wow.
Maxine Waters District. She just holds a seat in the House. She doesn't
looks like
do
the name
anything.
of that street is San Pedro. If you guys are from around there, somebody might know where that's at.
There's just tents everywhere. Homeless people everywhere.
So, if you're California and you believe in giving free stuff to everybody, why are there more homeless people there than anywhere else? Why aren't these people given homes and free stuff?
Mad Maxine. They must know that the trash is on the corner and they come pick it up on the corner. All the trash was on the corner.
Yeah, but they're not picking up the trash in the middle of the street there.
Nobody is. This is Mad Maxine's district. I can't even.
I don't think I've ever seen anything in our country like that before.
It looks like Haiti.
It does look like Haiti.
It looks like Haiti.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but most cities have regulations about where you can set up a tent.
Mm-hmm.
No camping here. That's crazy. David Nemeth says California used to be nice back in the 1970s. We were there. We lived in Carson for 3 months in 1999, and it was nice in 1999. We were in Simi Valley and LA and Carson, and it was nice then.
All right. So in Philadelphia, there were ICE protesters there, and they wouldn't leave this in their encampment. It's two different kinds of encampments, right? The one in LA is poor people who poop in the streets. This is the Starbucks version encampment, where the people go and get their lattes and come and protest ICE. Okay? Wow. Now, this is a really hilarious video to me because the police use their bikes. This is something I've never seen before.
Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Everybody move back! Move back! Move back! Move back!
He is kind of pushing over the Chinese woman who's just like standing there. Asian.
Yeah, you don't know she's Chinese.
I can watch this all day. It gets really good here. Ready? Demon possessed man in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fucking fascist pigs! Damn you all to hell!
Is he going to use that umbrella as a weapon?
I told you he was demon possessed.
Wow, that really does it.
Oh, ready to charge! They don't even use handcuffs to zip tie the bank. Oh, I fell. Look, they pushed me. Filed suit.
So they're clearing the streets because streets are streets. And if you don't have a permit to be closing down a street, you can't close down
Those
a street.
are like probably like $500 tents, man. You know, they went all the way to Sun and Ski or Cabela's to get those. Give me 2 bikes. Moving forward. 2 more bikes. You lost your camera, son.
I wish that it didn't end there.
Give me 2. I know. I was like, actually last night I was like, there's gotta be more. This is so much fun.
I'm really proud of those police officers.
Give me 2. Bang. Give me 2. Bang. You know what? It's just idiot. They're just such idiots, these people. This is not, they weren't firing rubber bullets. Nobody was being injured. They were just cray-cray people.
That one woman police officer was like saying, back up, back up, back up. And the lady's just standing there. And so she fell over. If a cop tells you to back up, maybe back up. Maybe.
This is the loony left. I just have to tell you, it's hilarious to watch. It's absolutely hilarious to watch. And you know what? I'm just going to go over here because my other computer screen is frozen. We told you guys about the hashtag walk away.
We did.
And you know what? this is a gay barber who subsequently, because he became famous, went into a camera store to buy a camera and a lens, and they wouldn't sell it to him. They said, you are part of the fascist Nazi group. You must leave our store.
So you got to bake the cake for the wedding for the gay people.
To sell the camera!
But if you are a gay person and you are red-pilled, then they are allowed to refuse to sell you a camera.
Now, see, this is where...
That makes sense.
The people who are just, like, sane, I don't even want to say the people on the right or libertarian people, just sane people would be like, okay, you disagree with somebody, you have to serve them. If you have a service, if you're selling goods, you should sell your goods to anybody, okay?
Well, but I don't know that I agree that it should be...
You should.
You should do it. Should it be legally
No, but
imposed?
This is the way that we're morally saying that the baker didn't need to, but they morally needed to sell him the camera.
And most of the time, with these bakers and candlestick makers and whatnot, they will send these
all
couples,
the time, every single time.
You know what? You can get your cake baked over there.
You can get your shirt printed over here. I will. They're every single time somebody's gone to court for this, they have always.
I want to know if the camera store said to him, "Well, you can go to the camera store that's over there."
Right?
Did they? I don't know.
No, but because he's gay, you'd think he'd be able to sue. Because how is he supposed to know?
Right.
You could just say, "I can't bake a cake for you because of your political leanings, not whether you're gay or not." Right? So would that have been a thing?
Right. No.
So maybe all these people should ask, instead of saying, I can't bake a gay cake, just say, I can't bake the cake for you. Are you a liberal or are you a conservative?
Yeah.
Because that's their standard.
Right.
An LGBT person, a woman, or an American immigrant, the Democratic Party wants you to know that you are a victim and destined to stay that way. They will insist that you are a victim, doomed to exist within a system that is rigged against you, that you are a victim of systemic oppression, that you are a victim of your circumstances, and that no amount of hard work or motivational action will ever allow you to overcome your victimhood or the privilege of those around you. This is perhaps the Democratic Party's greatest and most insidious lie. But if you are a minority in America today, the left-wing politicians and the liberal media don't want you to ever discover this lie. So they bombard us with stories designed to reinforce the narrative that you are in danger, that you cannot succeed. They manipulate your fears and concerns by telling you that you are disadvantaged, disempowered, and disposable to everyone except them. They will tell you that you need them. They will tell you that you are only safe under their supervision. They will promise to liberate you from all that chains you. And then they will do absolutely nothing for you. Once upon a time, I was a liberal. But liberalism has changed, and I will no longer be a part of an ideology or political party that represents everything that contradicts my values of unity, equal opportunity, personal empowerment, compassion, and love. So I am walking away. And I encourage all of you to do the same. Walk away.
And that is his viral video that is just so incredibly awesome. And now I'm going to play for you a clip from his moments with Tucker the other night.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
So
Tucker.
what was the moment? You were a liberal for a long time. You voted for Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
What was the pivot point for you when you decided these people don't represent me and I want something different?
Well, before the election, I was already starting to feel uncomfortable with where we were.
By the way, I haven't heard one single person say, I voted for Donald Trump, but I won't vote for him again.
That's really true. That's a good point.
I've heard people say, I voted for him, I'm disappointed, or I wish, he had taken things in a different way, or things like that. They're disappointed. I've seen a lot of disappointment. Right. However, I have seen a lot of people who voted for Barack Obama and Hillary say, I'm going to vote for Trump next time. Like, I got a feeling, you guys, if things keep going in this direction, he's going to win by a landslide in 2020, like not even close.
We're headed in terms of identity politics and PC culture. I became a liberal because I'm against racism, I'm against sexism, I'm against discrimination because of sexual orientation. But to be on the left now means that you basically
have to be hostile towards white people. You have to be hostile towards men. You have to find heteronormativity to be erroneous in some way. So I started to see these cultural shifts happening that I was very uncomfortable with. But a friend of mine came to me and she actually showed me something that pointed out very clearly how dishonest the media was in the Donald Trump campaign, how they would isolate moments from his behavior and make it appear as though he were a racist or a bigot or whatever. Now, I didn't realize this. I thought that CNN told the truth. I thought MSNBC told the truth. I thought Rachel Maddow told the truth. So this was mind-blowing to me. And once I realized this, I sort of went on a quest to find out more and see how much, what other things were they not being honest with me about, which it turns out was quite a lot. And once I discovered this, I tried talking with other people, and I was met with a lot of hostility and contempt. And a lot of friends left, and were very nasty to me on the way out the door. I decided that once and for all, I was going to sit down and write the definitive manifesto about everything that's wrong with liberalism, everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party, and put it in a video and just rip the Band-Aid off and stick it out there. But I wanted to create a campaign because I knew there were other people like me who were feeling the same way. So what I've done is I've created a testimonial campaign utilizing video and written testimonials. This is happening right now on Facebook. It's called the #WalkAway campaign.
There you have it.
So speaking of which, I actually found this article that I had wanted to share with you guys. I shared this on Facebook earlier today. It's only July, but Dennis is going out on a limb here and will tell you the November elections are not going to be kind to the Democratic Party. As it stands, I cannot imagine the Republicans losing either the House or the Senate. Why? Well, let's count the ways. Starting with the state of opposition. At present, the face of the Democratic Party, or on any given day, is either Nancy Pelosi trying to desperately muddle through her daily press conference, or Maxine Waters advocating the harassment and intimidation, both forms of violence, against citizens whose political views she disapproves of. The face of the resistance, not our resistance, on any given day is Michael Moore, Rosie O'Donnell, or Kathy Griffin. Unlikable and unthinkable, multimillionaires all, madly tweeting of the hell of living under Trump from their Hollywood mansions. When you have Tom Arnold on your side and the resistance does, it's time to start thinking about where things went horribly, horribly wrong. The face of the unbiased press is CNN each and every day. The face of CNN is Jim Acosta. Enough said. And if that isn't enough, the future of the Democratic Party is, as of this day, a 28-year-old Democratic socialist by the name of Alexandria Ocasio. I don't know how to... Cortez. Whatever. Her real-world accomplishments to date consist of graduating from college to a career as a barmaid and a waitress. She won a primary in a part of the country that thinks Bill de Blasio is a good idea. She's for open borders, guaranteed jobs for all, free education and healthcare for everyone, and against law enforcement, the Second Amendment, and anyone making more money than she does. All this will play well for Democrats in November, but it doesn't stop there. Let's not forget the Never Trump faction of the Republican Party. Beyond their visceral hatred of the president, what do Bill Kristol, Max Boot, George Will, and Jennifer Rubin have in common? The only thing they've ever done in life is run their mouths. That and the fact that their self-appointed status as learned gentlefolk is far more important to them than actually doing the hard, dirty work, implementing the principles and policies they claim to support. Theirs is the rage of the impotent. To the extent they are not ignored, they are mocked. So I want to round it off at the end here. So what we have going into November is a Democratic Party fronted by two hugely unpopular politicians and one waitress supported by the remnants of the ineffectual wing of the Republican Party. The policies the Democrats espouse, to the extent they espouse anything coherent at all, revolve around impeaching Donald Trump, allowing unrestricted illegal immigration via open borders, abolishing or ignoring the Second Amendment, raising taxes, and expanding the reach of government. How can that not win?
If we were divided, literally from like north to south or east to west,
right,
we would have a civil war.
We would,
because they would try to succeed. Because after John Quincy Adams got rid of the gag rule, and you could talk about slavery, their days were numbered. Their days were over, because when you start to bring up pictures and mental pictures of the horrors, and you start to bring up the gospel, and you start to really shed light on slavery, you only have a few ugly people defending it.
The only way they win is through censorship. And even then, the people they have on their side are so pitiful, they can't even win with the censorship.
But here's the thing. I want you guys to realize that the devil is behind all of it. And he doesn't really have any new tricks, but he repackages them.
True.
But the gag rule is censorship, and they literally were trying to censor. It's called censor John Quincy Adams, so he couldn't even speak in the House.
Right.
Like seriously, in the 1830s and 40s, they were still that was their thing, and they're doing it now.
Right.
It's absolutely hilarious. I'm gonna play one more quick video from Brandon here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that if you're a minority in America, if you're a black person, if you're Hispanic, if you're gay, there's sort of this assumption that you are not wanted on the right, that you're not welcome on the right, and that you will be protected and cared for if you go to the left and you stick with the liberals and the Democrats. But we've seen now that that's absolutely not true. They really take us for granted, and beyond taking us for granted, they actually, for gay people, have used our fears and our traumas against us, trying to keep us in this constant state of feeling like we're afraid or our rights are in danger or the Trump administration's out to hurt us. And that really upsets me. I want gay people, I want all people, but particularly minorities in America, to know you have a choice. You don't have to vote Democrat just because you're a gay person. You don't have to vote Democrat just because you're a black person. If you're a minority, you have a choice. And that's what this campaign's about.
Well, Brandon, we really appreciate your joining us, and we welcome all people to the...
This is absolutely what's hilarious. So, like, what has happened is that the right-wing libertarian people who are just kind of just normal people, Christians mostly, right, are very welcoming and loving to anybody who wants to be with them.
Right.
Now, of course, we have differences. Of course, you're going to have Bible, scriptures. Michelle and I, we talk about this all the time. You know, there are things that my friends do that I don't agree with morally, right? But when when you have the broad picture of politics, you don't exclude people based because you disagree with them or on this or that. Then you live in this whole world of exclusion. The people on the right, whether they're Christians, whether they're agnostic, wherever they fall on the religious spectrum, they're always willing to. They always want to see more people on their side. I mean, seriously, people got behind Roseanne Barr. Okay,
if people can get behind Roseanne Barr,
so they can't.
In a mass like they have, then the right really can get behind anybody.
And who's the guy? Who's a black guy that she's the singer, married to Kardashian?
Oh, Sean Combs.
Is that his name? What do they call him? No, that's not his name. What do they call him? What's his name?
And now you're having me draw
I know. He's like
a blank.
You know who he is. You know.
Kanye West.
Yes.
I don't know why is it Sean Combs?
Because that was the only other black guy.
This is how in tune we are to that kind of music.
But here's the thing: when the right is like Kanye West is supporting Trump, I mean, like that is like mind-boggling. Like my brain goes, eh. Like Kim Kardashian is saying, I want to give Trump a chance. I want him to succeed, and I'm just like, me too. Me too. Let's not hang up, but me too. You know, and so it's just funny to see that the right is really right of Stalin. They're all willing to be open. They have some squabbles, but like they bring in the gay guy. They bring in Candace Owens. Like anytime a black guy or a person of color comes and wants to bear arms and to be part of the NRA, we're all like, hey, come over here. We're so excited. We're so happy to have you. And they're like, do you have to be that happy? No, we're really happy to have you. And so this guy, this whole hashtag walk away, it's a gay guy. He's going on every single show. He's gone on Jeannie's show, so Tucker, he's going on all these shows, and everybody.
What was the first show you just said?
Jeannie show? The Judge Jeannie show.
Judge Jeannie. Judge Janine, I think her name is.
I don't know how to say it. Whatever. Anyways, like everybody on the right's like, yay, gay man, awesome. Okay, so like people don't hate gays. They just want people to be able to exercise their religious beliefs. It's crazy. So
now this hashtag walk away has blown up, which is good news that there are so many people that have walked away.
Yeah, so just to give you an idea, when you put in hashtag walk away, there's all kinds of hashtags around it too. There's a lot of people, I don't know, have you had enough? Are you tired of Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the Dems putting their interest ahead of yours in Florida District 23. I'm running and I want your support. Real Donald Trump. There's a lot of people of color. So like here's this Navy veteran, registered nurse, college educator, single parent. She's an immigrant.
Carla Spalding.
Standing strong for America.
Wow. Good for her.
There's a lot of individual ones. You could just go and let's see. I'm so proud to be of the walkaway movement. It's sad to say, but y'all should really prepare yourselves for vicious attacks from the left. It's something a lot of us go through as non-Democrats. Democrats are truly the party of hate.
And we've said this on the show. The left, for some reason, when they disagree with what you have to say, it comes out as pure hatred. Whereas on the right, when people disagree, they try to have like a rational discussion by and large. Okay, these are, broad statements, but it is pretty much true.
First vote I ever cast at 18 for Bill Clinton. Voted Democrat Party since. Until Hillary. To be Democrat in 2018 is to hate the United States while benefiting from living here. Is to play victim because of my race, and I don't and I won't.
Wow.
So it's fantastic to just keep reading now. That is what's like normal and sane, but I don't know if you guys have seen this. This video here, a couple people were sitting there in a restaurant, and some guy comes and takes his Make America Great hat and throws a drink in his face. I think there might be volume here, but I don't know if I have it muted here. Here we go.
For the president. You ain't supporting.
His friend is like, whoa, what just happened?
So first of all, we have theft.
Yeah.
Number one. Assault by ICE.
Assault by ICE, get it?
Yeah. And
but he says
he stole his hat.
He says this is going to look really good on my wall. Let me see if I play it again.
The president. You ain't supporting.
If somebody had some sort of hat that was supporting Hillary, I would just laugh. Like,
so
there aren't really any hats supporting Hillary.
He went to jail, and he posted bond, and he lost his job at a local bar due to the incident.
Good.
And he was disavowed by the Green Party of Texas.
Disavowed. Okay.
Yeah.
So like being excommunicated?
I don't know. I want to go to this story because I've been following it. It's so crazy and interesting and sad and hopeful, and I'm really praying for these Thai boys. 12 boys in Thailand went into this cave with their coach, and they were trying to make it to this certain spot as a rite of passage. While they were in there, a flash flood happened, and they had to keep moving in towards the cave. They were lost for 2 weeks. They're still in the cave. Wow. They had found the boys. At first they thought they had all the time in the world. They could just keep giving them food, trying to find a way out because they're weak. And the current on this water is so strong that the divers who went in said it was one of the hardest dives they have ever done. And so they're trying to think if they could dive these kids out. They're pumping out the water, trying to get it as low as they can. But there are still some sections that if they get them out, or if they try to get them out, they're going to have to dive. So they've been giving them some dive lessons. They have equipment. There's a man died today. A Thailand Navy SEAL died setting up oxygen points along the way. It's like 2 miles long, okay?
2 miles! You were telling me about this last night. That doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah, you have to walk it. It took them 5 hours, I think it's 5 hours in, 6 hours out.
This is a movie!
Because you have to go against the current. Now, they're trying to think if they could go through the top, but
how are they going to pump out 2 miles of water?
Well, it's not submerged the whole way.
Okay.
There's just these pockets of being submerged, but when the pockets submerge, it's a huge current. It's flowing through the cave. But I don't know exactly how it's working. You can see some video. But my point is that they're trying to get these kids out. Now, it's supposed to rain again. A monsoon is going to happen on Sunday. If they don't get them out by Sunday, then they're going to flood, and it could get... They are at a place where it never gets to the point where they will kill them or drown them. But they could lose oxygen. They could lose all the fact that they pumped out all this water. And so there's everybody from the whole world. The top UK divers are there. Navy SEALs from America are headed over there. They're going to make this thing happen. And I want to kind of bring you some...
It's getting worse. Rescuers losing one of their own while trying to save 12 young boys and their coach. The diver running out of air after delivering oxygen supplies to those trapped deep inside that cave. Former U.S. Navy SEAL Dave Sears explaining the dangerous rescue effort that proved deadly.
What he's doing is he's trying to pre-stage canisters of oxygen or air so that they can get the kids out either on a fixed line, or if they need to dive them, they have reserve air as they go. He died doing that. This is such a dangerous event, doing the diving in a cave.
The former Thai Navy SEAL volunteered on that mission, trying to save those boys. The horrific loss coming as rescuers race against a fast-approaching monsoon. You'll recall that heavy rains are what trapped the kids in the first place when they were on a team trip visiting that cave. Water flooding the narrow passages, making it nearly impossible for them to get out. Now, there are so many people working on an escape plan that oxygen levels are getting extremely low underground. Meantime, more help is on the way, with billionaire Elon Musk sending his own team of engineers to help rescue the kids. Besides Tesla, what he's known for, another of his companies, the Boring Company, specializes in digging tunnels. So fingers crossed they can get out there and get this taken care of.
Yeah, because, like, why not, like, I don't know anything. Why not, like, blast through those dips, right? Just drop the rock down, walk over it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have been following this and seeing, you know, up-to-date things. Thailand cave rescue, boys can walk but can't dive yet. Thailand cave rescue, why can't they drill from above? And other questions you want answered. If the rescues know where the boys are, can't a drill be used to open a hole from above? The spot where the boys and their coach are is about a half-mile down through mostly solid rock. The mountain terrain above the cave is a heavy jungle with few access roads. Forrest Wilson, the chief diving officer for the National Cave Rescue Commission, who has 50 years of cave diving experience, including several rescues, said drilling into the cave from above is not possible. But the maps of the cave are not accurate enough to get a good fix on exactly where to drill. It will take a long time to drill through a half kilometer of a cave. I don't think there's time. Isn't there a way, using modern technology, that rescuers can get a more fixed, accurate from above on where the boys are? Yes, there is. It's called Radio Cave Locator, and it's basically a beacon that transmits a radio wave from within the cave and lets people on the outside know precisely where the beacon the trapped people are located. It's unclear if authorities in Thailand are using such a beacon. It's a big cave. Why are rescues so worried about oxygen? Ventilation from the source is poor. There's simply not enough air going into the cave space to sustain 12 boys and an adult for a long period of time. Can't water the cave be simply pumped out? Not all of it. Heavy industrial pumps are pumping water out of the cave around the clock. Authorities on Friday estimated they have pumped out more than 35 million gallons in the past week. But seeing how a cave is a huge water repository, the millions of gallons being pumped out amounts to just drops in the bucket. In about 4 months, Thailand's dry season would naturally deplete the water in the cave. But rescue workers don't believe that the boys can hold on that long. So can they get out? Can they swim out? All these things are just really difficult to,
oh my gosh.
To
That's absolutely crazy. So my mom says in the comment, cave-ins, Michelle. Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be worried, definitely, just like, oh, by the way,
we blew this thing and now you can't get out ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be bad. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. A 2-mile hose to pump in fresh air. That would be a pretty long hose.
Yeah. So here are the boys. You can see they're like up here, and then this whole cave. I mean, some of it's stuck with water.
So yeah, it was a rite of passage.
So what's being considered now is, as such as it, they're getting the group to dive out. But this poses major risk.
So that water is flowing.
First thing, the flow of water is very strong in some parts. It's also muddy, meaning visibility is practically zero. The confined space, that's also an issue because, you know, some areas it's so narrow that divers themselves, they had to take their tanks off to squeeze through. Most of these young boys don't know how to swim, let alone dive. Rescue teams are now giving them crash courses, as we heard there. A static rope, which is already in place, should help. It can guide each boy and his rescue diver out. Alternatively, rescue divers can position themselves along the route, passing the boys in relay style. And they're also likely to position oxygen tanks at regular intervals to ensure enough air supply.
How you would
Still,
take care
the
of
entire
divers?
ordeal is expected to take 3 hours or more for each boy. In previous cave rescues, drilling has been used as a way to get people out. But, in this situation, that might take too long. The group is stranded about 1 kilometer below the top of the mountain, and rescue teams are also searching for other ways into the cave. But it's a race against time. Rain is forecast to begin as early as tomorrow, and the deluge could very well jeopardize efforts and leave rescuers back at square one.
That is terrifying.
Can't even.
So we must be praying that they get out. It doesn't matter who, as the adult, is responsible. Rite of passage or not. I kind of think this will never happen again. I really don't. The rite of passage, I think, will be done. These will be the last kids that ever do this rite of passage.
And
and
they're never gonna get in again. Here's the boys here when they're first seen on video. It's kind of blurry here, but they waved. They're not doing too bad. They're not dead. Praise God. They could have been. Parents have been like, "There's my hi, Mom." But they're really. I mean, if little boys aren't already, thin, they're severely malnourished at this point. That they have the strength to get through. I don't know, and I just pray that they will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Donald Trump went to Montana. While he was in Montana, he made an offer to Pocahontas for her to take a DNA test, and he would donate like $1 million or $10 million to charity or something like that. Shiva, who's running against her, has offered the same thing. And I want to get to that because I love Shiva and I want him to win so badly. Wouldn't it be awesome? But then we wouldn't get to make fun of her anymore.
You know what? I think
they're out of business. So who's going to cover? They're going to cover Bernie? Hey, they're going to cover like Sleepy Joe Biden? They're going to cover Pocahontas?
Oh.
Who was?
So
Think
there
of
used
it.
to be a fence right here.
Oh, I have something
Think of
playing in
it.
the background.
She of the great tribal heritage. What tribe is it? Let me think about that one.
So
Why do I have
there
playing?
used to be a fence
There it
right
is.
here.
Okay.
That's
I
Oprah.
have no idea why that's playing.
I don't know
Sorry.
why that's up either. You can
It
close
must have been a next one playing. That's Shiva. We're going back to Donald Trump. Here we go.
Pocahontas. They always want me to apologize for saying it. And I hereby, oh no, I want to apologize. I'll use tonight. Pocahontas, I apologize to you. I apologize. To you, I apologize. To the fake Pocahontas, I won't apologize. No, it's causing her problems. You know that name's good because now even the liberals are saying, take a test. Take a test. You know, I tell you, I shouldn't tell you because I like not to give away secrets. But this one, let's say I'm debating Pocahontas, right? I promise you I'll do this. I will take, those little kits they sell on television for $2? Learn your heritage. Guy says, I was born in Scotland. It turns out he was born in Puerto Rico, and that's okay. It's good.
He's a comedian, really.
Guy says, I was born in Germany. Well, he wasn't born in Germany. He was born someplace else. I'm going to get one of those little kids. And in the middle of the debate, when she proclaims that she's of Indian heritage, because her mother said she has high cheekbones. That's her only evidence, that her mother said she had high cheekbones. We will take that little kid and say, but we have to do it gently. Because we're in the Me Too generation, so we have to be very gentle. And we will very gently take that kid, and we will slowly toss it, hoping it doesn't hit her and injure her arm. Even though it only weighs probably 2 ounces. And we will say, I will give you $1 million to your favorite charity, paid for by Trump, if you take the test and it shows you're an Indian, you know.
So it's not just if she takes the test. It has to show that she is actually a Native American.
Well, yeah.
So, I think that is hilarious. Trump is really funny. He is saying the things that the rest of us want to say. He's saying the things that presidents never have said before. And I love it.
I love my life.
I absolutely love
when
it.
When he reads from his his written statements, it is a little boring. And it would be boring when we read from written statements too. Dear President Trump and real Donald Trump Jr., great to see great minds think alike. I offered the fake Indian $10 million on her birthday a few weeks ago, and as an MIT PhD in biology, sent and offered her DNA test on 3 occasions. Shiva is running against her, and I'm really excited to see him running. And
oh my gosh,
somebody.
Sky, the battle's now IRL. It's offline. Now only the real Indian is flying over Cambridge and Boston, Massachusetts, spreading memes to millions and millions of people.
Now, our viewers
Here's the deal. Donald Trump needs to see this because he's going to...
Aware of Dr. Shiva
and Ayyadurai. And the fact that he wants his movement to become countrywide or even worldwide. It's not just in his jurisdiction.
Right. Yeah. So Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai, he is like woke like we are. He is not necessarily, he's more libertarian, but he's a doctor. He's an MIT grad. He's so smart. He got to, Jesus, please let him get into the Senate. Oh, Lord, please. He's so awesome. He's taking on, Elizabeth Warren in a district. I can't imagine that people wouldn't just hold their nose and still vote for her. But I'm hoping because what I really would like for him to kind of to turn on is to show the liberals that would vote for her, and he did this in the beginning, but now this is his campaign. She is not as anti-corporatism and anti-GMO and anti-vaccine. He's anti-vaccine. He's anti-GMO. He wants you to have a healthy mind. He wants you to have a healthy body.
It's the same areas where we are able to meet with the left a lot.
Right, exactly. And so I want him to start hammering that because I think it would put Elizabeth Warren back on her heels a little bit.
Oh, sure.
So here is this chick. We're going to end with this story. Patricia Okamu came to the U.S. 10 years ago from the Congo, sued the housing group for racism and lost, protests U.S. policy regularly, climbs the Statue of Liberty on July 4th, raises a resist t-shirt. Only a Democrat would think she is an asset to the country. This woman from the Congo, she climbed the Statue of Liberty saying that she did so in the words of Michelle Obama, when they go high, or when they go low, we go high. And there she is, climbing the Statue of Liberty to protest ICE. And she thinks she's pretty awesome. But the thing of it is that there's an article that the UK just put out, and I'm pretty sure I tweeted it out, or I know I put it on. I had it up on Resistance Chicks. Let me see if I can find it. Where the Congo right now. I don't know if it'll come up. New York Post: boys are forced to rape their mothers during Congo War. UN report comes out that rebels and government troops in the Kaza region of Africa, of the African country, have committed sickening atrocities, including mass rape and cannibalism. UN human rights experts claim in one horrific massacre, 186 men and young boys from one single village had their heads chopped off. The team investigating the conflict in the Kasai region told the UN Human Rights Council last week that they had suspected all sides were guilty of war crimes and offenses against humanity. They had a detailed 126-page report catalog these gruesome attacks. Boys forced to rape their mothers, little girls being told witchcraft would allow them to catch bullets, women forced to choose between gang rape or death. What happened in the Kasai is almost beyond description, Congo's human rights minister told the council. One victim told us that in May 2017, she saw a group of the militia, some of whom sported female genitals as medals. Some witnesses recalled seeing people cutting up, cooking, and eating human flesh, including male genitalia cut from men who were still alive and from corpses, and drinking human blood. Lead investigator told the council that in one incident, at least 186 men and boys from a single village were beheaded. Rebel groups, including child soldiers forced to fight unarmed or wielding sticks, who are convinced that magic has made them invulnerable.
Well, I don't know if, because somebody had said, what is her gripe? She is upset that she's not getting enough free stuff, essentially.
Well, the reason she climbed the Statue of Liberty was to protest borders.
Okay, but seriously, she's upset that people aren't being given enough stuff. Yes, it was the protesting of the borders, but she is one of those people that's coming over here saying, I want free stuff. Everybody needs free stuff. And she's not protesting what's actually happening that is horrific, real human rights tragedies that can't be named.
That's the thing. She is, looking through here, I was trying to find the video that she did where she said, America is awful. America is a horrible place. Well, you came here and you're still alive.
I wish you had the footage of Trump that said, you know what? Just put in, because there were people that went in and helped get her down. He's like, just put a net. Just let her come down when she wants to come down. Just put a net out there. I thought that was kind of funny.
There are times when justice demands that we transcend the law.
Whatever.
For their support for equality and social justice.
Equality and social justice. White supremacy is terrorism. Sure.
I came in this country in 1994. I also want to thank the United States Park Police, most specifically Officer D'Alessandro. They've been very, very wonderful to me. Talking about respect, courtesy, professionalism. I think the NYPD can learn something or two from them, from the United States Park Police. Michelle Obama, our beloved First Lady that I care so much about, said when they go low, we go high, and I went as high as I could.
Can't make it stop.
This video?
Yeah.
You can just close it.
Well, okay. She just won't stop.
All right. So, before we finish up, Patriot Gallagher has something to say, and then I'm going to get to one of the...
Just real quick, anybody who lets their child come over the border in a situation where a lot of it, there's no water for miles. I mean, you can die.
Right.
It's child endangerment. They have to be separated from the children for child abuse.
Right.
I mean, if once that child's on this soil, we're responsible to make sure that child's not abused anymore.
Right.
That's why we can't let all these immigrants and everything like that who abuse children come into this country, whether you're Muslim or not. You can't abuse your wives either.
Right.
You can't have multiple wives either.
Right.
I mean, people are protected in our country. That's why, people want to come here.
Right.
But so all these people are advocating that women be abused and children be abused. It doesn't matter as long as they're the parents. And our own Child Protective Services does the same stupidity. Mm-hmm. You can't even have children with gay marriages because that is known to have pedophilia in it. It's just scientifically known.
Well, not only that, but it's...
And when I was a kid growing up, if you were gay and you were with somebody, you did not have your child. You lost custody of your child. The child's protected first.
Right, absolutely. But it's mentally damaging on children to have to go through and live in an environment like that.
Right.
All right, so I got this email the other day from one of our viewers named Ben. Good afternoon, Leah and Michelle. I just finished watching your 1 p.m. live stream, which was great, as usual. Your approach to the social, political, and religious events around the world is so refreshing. Thank you, Ben. Your biblical patriotic perspective with your unpretentious, unfiltered, yet non-profane style is the best. I listen to a lot of alternative news, and quite often I walk away with a very heavy heart, but I almost always leave your program at the end feeling encouraged and refreshed. I love this guy. Ben, you're awesome. Something that concerns me right now is the plight of the white citizens of South Africa. If you have not yet watched Lauren Southern's recently released documentary about the atrocities being committed against many of the whites in that country, especially the farmers, you need to. It is absolutely horrific and detestable. Could you please address this situation in one of your live streams in the next week or so? It is getting virtually no coverage in the mainstream media. Surprise, surprise. But then again, white guilt and truth denial are the order of the day there. Thank you for your consideration in this urgent matter. Thank you for your program. God bless you, ladies. So I brought up the trailer. If you guys have not seen Lauren Southern's documentary, It's just called Farmlands, I think. I'm just going to play this trailer really quickly.
I think we can cover it more on Sunday. That'd be a good thing because we watched it
I'm in
last
South
week.
Africa to find
And
truth.
we can cover it a little bit more on Sunday.
In a country where farming is one of the most dangerous
I don't know if I
jobs
pushed it live.
on
Hang on.
The phone lid is on Google.
Bullet went in here, came out here.
No, it's just going. It's fine.
Where cities are crumbling.
The visible deterioration of South Africa.
Where the men prepare for civil war.
We need to prepare for whatever is coming. A hydroponic system, a few thousand liters of diesel there.
And the wives fear for their lives.
You're not safe. You're never safe.
You'll probably come and kill us.
Where leaders and criminals stand hand in hand.
Everything that you own, it's ours. Our people are at war in farms now.
It's without compensation.
A nation at boiling point.
There is a genocide coming in South Africa. Within 5 years, a civil war will begin in South Africa.
And I'm here to tell you why.
So I am so proud of Lauren Southern for putting this documentary together, and it's free. She is not doing this for money. She is doing it because it is the right thing to do, that this story has to be told. Katie Hopkins went over there. She's silenced. Everybody that goes over there that tries to tell what is happening is silenced. This is evil at its core. So thank you, Ben. I think we did talk about it. We watched the documentary already. I don't know that we really
I've been tweeting it out as
addressed it on air very much.
It is so powerful. The level of production quality. This is theater quality.
It is. It's really, really good.
Documentary sometimes, okay, that's nice, that's good, especially like, Christian ones or whatever. But I gotta tell you, this one will move you. It will move you, and the production quality is so. I mean, like 3 people put this together, from what I understand. I don't know. I mean, I looked through the credits. It was like, oh my gosh, something like this would have like 1,000 people, in the credits, You know what I mean? So this is a little song, and we'll sum up. It's just a kind of a little praise and worship song.
To feel you more than I feel each breath. And Lord, I want to touch you, receive your healing grace. And Lord, I need your word to fill this empty space. Oh, I want to know you more than I know myself. Lord, I want to feel you more than I feel each breath. Lord, I want to touch you, receive your healing grace. Lord, I need your word to fill this empty space. Lord, I want to feel you more than I feel each breath. Lord, I want to touch you, receive your healing grace. Lord, I need your word to fill this empty space. Oh, receive your healing grace. And Lord, I need your word to fill this empty space. World needs you all. Oh Lord, we need to feel you more than we feel each breath. So Father, we lift up those little Thai boys in that cave, and I pray that you comfort them. I pray that you give the people who are over that mission wisdom. I pray that you hold off the rain until they get every last person out of there. I pray that you protect them and surround them with your angels. I thank you for what you're doing, not just in our country, but all across the world. And we lift up Brexit to you and pray that the leadership there will fall into the line of the will of the people and self-governance and the will of God. And that you give the leadership there wisdom and knowledge. If not, I pray that you get them out of office. And we pray that countries like Poland and Hungary and
Czech Republic
can hold their ground, being countries, Christian countries, based on the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I thank you, Lord, I'm choked up, that you are tearing down the foundations of the European Union and giving everybody. I got these shirts. We are going to be wearing them.
That was right in the middle of.
I know. It was a thought. 1777 United.
Amen, Lord.
Check out the website. This one's Matt's shirt. It looks fantastic. It's like nice and soft. The guys' shirts, they're a little softer. We got some girl shirts we're going to show you. He's got the founders' signatures. I want to get the one with the declaration on it. But one of the sayings that people have been going around saying, I've seen, like I've been hearing, like on Alex Jones, people calling in from Australia, 1776 worldwide.
I love it.
1776 worldwide. Freedom worldwide. Well, you know, we love our country. We make jokes about it being the best country in the world. It is. But our founders believe that democracy and the idea of a democratically elected a republic would spread. What? Why are you laughing?
Maia, you can't just start a prayer and leave it hanging like that, Leah.
My brain, okay? My prayer was, Lord, I thank you for 1776 worldwide.
Amen. Now it's finished.
Amen.
Amen.
That's what I meant to say. 1776 worldwide. That was the end of my prayer.
Amen, Lord.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 1776 worldwide.
God knows your heart.
It was a visual to the prayer.
Right. That's new.
It is. It's a thing. I'm starting it. All right, guys.
Thank you guys for being here. Bill Burnett sent me an email saying, I received a letter back that I had sent to Tommy Robinson's address in prison. It was marked no such person, reroute to sender, but it had been opened, a couple of items removed, then taped shut and returned. And then I replied to the email. I said, are you serious? That's infuriating. He said, yet another ominous sign of a serious threat to Tommy's life. I am praying for repentance for the thoughts in my heart. This event is definitely an outrage.
Yeah, Lord, we totally pray that you protect Tommy Robinson, give his solicitors, as they're called there, wisdom, and may the judge make right decisions, and may he get a court date back, because it was canceled.
Oh, that could be it, Amber. You can't address it to Tommy Robinson. You have to address it to his real name.
Oh.
Which is, it's escaping me right now because we never talk about it.
Yeah, look up his real name. Address it to his real name.
It's a weird name. Somebody's going to put it in the chat, in the comment here for me.
Try that.
All right, so thank you to our moderators who I haven't thanked in a while. Worth a Look, Britt Baza, Amber, Maia, Gary, Sooks was here, Mom, good old Patriot Gallery, good young Patriot Gallery, I should say. Britt Baza. Thank you guys for being here.
You guys may not know this, but my mom is like a beast. Okay? She's actually very, she's a slender figure. She does not resemble us except for our hair.
She doesn't have these.
She's a slender-fingered, slender-legged person. But when it has come, we have friends who are into CrossFit, right? And this is just me being real with you. It's hilarious to me. We have good friends who are into CrossFit, and the CrossFit is like their world. And they're getting strong through CrossFit. Now, if you don't know much about CrossFit, that's cool. I don't either. I do it, and I have done it my whole life. Well, at least since I was a teenager. I didn't know I was doing CrossFit. I made it up, by the way.
It's not really CrossFit. It's just fit. You're not crossing anything. You're just doing real work.
Well, here's the thing with CrossFit. I believe, and you correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, CrossFit it combines weightlifting and aerobic exercise, and that's how you get CrossFit.
Well, what I'm saying is,
when we growed up, it was just called working out, but they have a cool name for it, and mostly weightlifting guys would only just lift weights. And working at and aerobic, it's anaerobic and aerobic exercise together. So like you do a lot of running and you lift really hard and you get your heart pumping, whereas weightlifters don't normally do that. So they do it together.
But they like lift tires and stuff, and they carry 5-gallon buckets, and it's trying to put like real life movements.
But what they do, what their big thing is, if you Google these CrossFit classes, they do some of that. But they also they do a lot of Olympic style weightlifting with the snatch and the clean and jerk, which is absolutely hilarious to me because girls don't do that. This girl did in the late 90s, which is hilarious because nobody else was doing it then. It was not cool. I was an anomaly. I mean, compared to the girls doing CrossFit now, they're like heads and shoulders above where I ever could have gone. I mean, like they're beasts. No, they are beasts. I would never have wanted to do what they're doing. Strap a tire to me and run down the street. Yeah. I ain't doing that, Jack. Okay? But like I was training to go to the Olympics. Okay? I was an Olympic style weightlifter, and what that means is it's not just pumping iron. You literally are just like clean and jerk and snatch, and I didn't get very far, but my trainers thought I was going to go to Olympics and blah blah blah.
You didn't get very far because you didn't want to have to be judged that you're actually a female. You got to go stand in front of a panel of
you
judges.
Don't have
like
to now.
naked.
Maybe I should rethink this thing. You don't have to have you can just declare your
gender. And they
were
wanting you to do
acupuncture
which
things like that. My back would ever go out every time I was getting ready to go to a competition. My point is that it's hilarious to me to watch all these girls doing the clean and jerk and the snatch. Like, I did my CrossFit. Like, all these girls walking out, like, I did my CrossFit, I did my clean and jerk, and my snatch, and they're, like, throwing weights up like it's nobody's business. And I'm like, I did that. Like, it wasn't cool then. Now it's cool.
All right, so now that we went from Mom is a beast and you're complimenting her to...
Mom is a beast. Right. Because she's kind of taught us our whole lives. We didn't have men around to help us. So my mom would call me muscles and her mini muscles. Joke of the day, not even kidding. Isn't that funny? Because I was older. And normally when you're older, you're bigger, and then, like, she shot up a little bit taller. We moved a lot to different apartments, and Mom would have to move all the stuff. And she'd be like, come on, muscles.
We did that.
And we did it as a group, like our little trio.
We moved couches and stuff.
But, like, looking back, like, my mom always had us do, like, these projects. And, like, they're hard work projects. Like, this is, like, my mom is Mr. Miyagi, okay?
Wow.
She's not like, oh, we had fun, we would play tennis and stuff like that, but like her idea of getting exercise is sand the floor, stain the floor, polyurethane the floor, paint the wall, paint it again. Okay, not that she was neurotic about
Wallpaper the wall.
Wallpaper the wall.
Take the wallpaper down.
Remove the carpet.
Take walls down.
Take walls down. And
put walls up.
And so it was actually Mom's idea. Our whole house has been remodeled, by the way. And it's CrossFit. The exercise that we have done, we were telling our friends, like, come to our house. We can put you to work. Because the stuff that we do day in and out is, like, really hard. Like, we're lifting things. So all these, they're putting money, and they're looking there in their books, and they're like, okay, I'm going to plank for this many minutes, and I'm going to lift this many reps. And I'm like, you want to show them your muscles? Do you want to do them?
We will.
Okay, you want to scare the people?
I'm going to scare the people. Okay.
We had a friend. So Michelle carried, what were you carrying over your head at Lowe's?
It was a 4-foot sheet
Pegboard.
of pegboard. And she wanted me to, like, we couldn't find a cart anywhere at Lowe's. So she's like, let's just kind of drag it to the front. And I was like, no.
I'll just carry
So I
it.
just put it over my head. And she literally says to me, Michelle,
put it down.
You put that down. You will never find a man looking like that. You're going to scare them all away. So my wingspan.
I love it.
Of it.
You're gonna turn around for the people?
I don't know if I have room to do that.
You do. Oh my gosh. Look at that. She is just a beast. But we don't work out. Like, we don't work out. We work outside. Like those farmer kids. Like every day I'm thinking to myself for hours every day, this is heavy. Whatever I'm doing, it's heavy.
Right.
It's heavy. Like but mom does the same stuff. Like she's Mr. Miyagi telling herself, clean the ditch. Clean the ditch. Today it was clean the shed. Take all the things out of the shed. Put all the heavy things back into the shed. Okay? So my point is, I kept thinking to myself, my mom, she taught us to be CrossFit, like, do the things. Lift the things. Lift all the things. And take them out, put them back. Always. And be strong.
She always starts these projects, and then as good daughters do,
we join in.
You're like, all right, that's really
but
what
she
we're doing?
is working right there. Like, she got sweat dripping down her face. Like, she's doing the ditch. And she tells me the other day, one day a couple weeks ago when it was like rainy and it was like chilly, she's like, it's too cold to go out. I need it to be hot. I'm like, Mom, so you need it to be like 100 degrees? Yeah, it motivates me more. And she'll strap on a cold pack and she'll be out there like dripping. I'm like, are you going to die doing this? What are you doing? And she's pulling out these giant tarps and her muscle. And Mom's got a muscle because she'd always put weights in her purse, right?
She did.
So that she could do her muscle.
No, and she had this muscle. Like, mine's not even that big. My mom would have this, like, hump. And she would kind of curl it just so you could really see it. But she always had this, like, it's pretty strong.
So we encourage people, if you go to the gym, but we encourage people, find things in your life, paint the wall, sand the floor, wax the car. I don't care.
These people that pay for a gym membership, and please don't take this the wrong way if you're that person.
Because we have Jay,
right.
If you're watching, don't be offended.
It doesn't make sense to me. Because
there's so many things in our life that are like really,
you could get that workout doing some work, and then you actually have a feeling of accomplishment. You've gotten something done.
But it takes
these people. They hire house cleaners. They hire people to do their lawn and their landscaping, and then they hire a gym. They go and work out. Yeah. I see it. I take Uncle Jack to the gym 3 days a week. I see these people all the time, doctors and stuff, and I know they'd be hiring people to mow their grass. And I'm like, really? You couldn't do that yourself and then not have to go to the gym? Because I don't do things to get this fit. I don't think to myself, hey, I'm going to do this so that I can have muscles that scare people and keep the men away, which I don't think is true. I think that some men appreciate strength.
Absolutely.
Now, the camera's here. You don't have to come in.
Okay. All right, we're going to sign off on a rabbit trail.
We did go on a rabbit trail, but that's why you guys keep coming back. We're going to keep this under 2 hours.
Keep you in shape going on rabbit trails.
That's right.
Mental
gymnastics. Love you. God loves you. Oh, my mom is trying to tell you in the chat that that's where the shoulders. I don't know. It's either Swedish or gymnastics. Maybe a little bit of both.
I don't know.
God loves you. God bless. Did you want to flex for the people?
Not today. Maybe sometime in the future.
Because we have flexing contests at our house. That's what we do for
Only
fun.
one Svensson flex at a time.
Scare the people away. All right, we will see you back here Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our European and UK news. And then hopefully next week sometime we will go live in the middle of the week. You never know.
We had a lot of extras this week.
We did. We did fireworks twice. We did a call in to Nigel. It was really fun.
3 shows this week.
We did 3 extra shows this week, guys.
I was really excited about this week.
They were really fun. So thank you, guys. Who is stronger?
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
Right.
So, like, I'm the person that can... I feel like I'm the brunt who could go longer at the brunt work. Mm-hmm. But Michelle literally can lift more than me.
Right.
Heavier things. Like, she has never, ever handed me a pickle jar to open. Like, if she can't get it...
But she handed it to me, though.
So...
But you have that lower center of gravity. So, like, you will frequently... And you haven't done this in a while, and I want to know why. Am I fat now?
I can lift her over,
She
but
will
she
lift me
can't.
over her shoulder, and I can't. I'm too tall. It's harder for me to do that. But because you're shorter, I kind of go up and over easier. I think I have to actually kind of squat you up, whereas you don't have to go down that far.
But Michelle has a tremendous amount of strength that it's just different.
Moral of the story: if you are thinking about coming to attack our family, don't do it.
Should we tell them that the FBI visited?
No.
Nope.
We didn't. Nope. All right, you guys. We love you. God loves you. God bless. And we will see you back here Sunday. Good night, guys. There it goes.
I was cold.